Today I'm going to show you how I rig different colored eyes like the one in behind me. For this video tutorial, this file that I'm working with is available for free as a study file. You are more than welcome to download it and pull it up and work along with me. You'll see that my neck shadow and the eyes at the bottom aren't correct. This is because when you export a PSD into Live2D Cubism, any multiply layers and add glow layers, or just add layers, do not transfer over. Same happens with clipped layers. We just have to go in there and quickly redo that. Just click on neck shadow, go to our inspector box, and we'll see clipping ID. This is why it's important to name your layers, because I could just quickly find the neck, check that box, and now the neck shadow is filled in properly. For my eye glow parts, same box, inspector, then we go down to blend mode and we pick the one that we want. For me, I wanted these to glow, so this is going to be the additive setting. Now, I want you to get into the habit of organizing your layers into warp deformers. This will save you time and stress. Select the whole thing by just dragging my left click and mouse. I'm going to label this the head, and then I'm going to drag over the eyes. It's going to select some things I don't want, but we can easily deselect this by holding down the control button and then selecting any highlighted layers that I do not want. I do not want my nose or my neck or my ears, I just want the eyes. And we can always drag whatever red box we have to see if we have everything. It looks like we're good. If we want to put it back into place, which we do, we hit Control Z and it'll snap right back in. Hit this button, create a new warp deformer, and we're going to call it the eyes. Now that we have it separated into two parts, we have our head and our eyes. If you want to practice some more organization, I did include some other parts like the ears, the neck, and the actual head and eyebrows. You are welcome to categorize them and play with that. However, I'm just going over the eyes in this tutorial. Once you have these eyes selected like I do here, we're going to call this the eyeballs. Once you have the eyeballs together, then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab all of my eyelashes and put them together in one. Now we have a bit of an organization system. We have our eyes. The eye whites are still not categorized, but we're going to leave them there for now. We have all of our eyelashes in one deformer and our eyeballs in the next. The next step is to pick which eyeball you want to rig first. So I like to work with the one to my right, the model's left. So we'll be working on the blue eye first. So for this, I grab all of the lashes and I auto standard add the mesh. What we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the upper lash and we're going to hit this button up here, Deform Path Edit. Then we're just going to add a couple dots. I'm going to do 4. This is going to make it so it's much easier for us to make the character blink. Now before we do any actual rigging, it is time to go to our parameter box and create a folder for our eyes. Now don't forget, if you right click, you can add a label color. Live2D Cubism now has colors already in there for you, so if you just want to be super quick, at this stage what you would typically do is you would grab your actual eyeball, in this case blue glow, blue pupil, and blue eyeball, go to the inspector, hit the clipping ID, and then attach it to your blue whites. But look at what happens. Because I did not fill the entire back of the eye, my clipping doesn't work. So this is why it's important for you to fill all layers that go behind things. However, this is just a mistake. I have two choices. I can either rig it in a different way, or I can go back into the program and redraw the eye whites and bring them back in. So if you ever mess up any layers, do not fret. You or your artist can go back into the art program and fix it. This is how. So what I can do is find my eyeball layers and remove the eyeballs real quick, and I can see my issue. It's not looking too hot. So what I'm going to do is firstly turn off my symmetry layer. That may screw up some stuff. I'm going to go to this original layer and I'm going to fill in the things I did incorrectly. So I'm not going to go too crazy with the fill in corrections. I just want to show you guys this is how you can fix mistakes. Okay, once you have fixed any layers, here is a fun part. All you have to do is open your files and drag and drop it into the Live2D. So this is the recent fix. Put it into there. It will ask you, do you want to create a new model or put it on the model you already have? Add all layers as a new art mesh or replace. I want to replace. And then what I can do now is check to see if it replaced correctly. Remove my eyeball and there we go. The error has been fixed. So now that this is done correctly, we can finally clip appropriately. So let's grab our blue eyeball and then we put the clipping ID to the blue. You're gonna see that nothing changed, and that's what we want. Now that is done, we're going to make it so that the eye closes when the eyelash closes. So instead of doing each eyeball layer individually, which would be tedious, we're just going to do the whites of the eye. For this, we're just going to go to auto and standard mesh it. I prefer to use the brush tool for this. We're going to hit the 2 keyforms again. And then I just slowly bring it down. I want my brush size to be a bit bigger for this, so I'm just going to do that. And we just slowly bring it down until the mesh is nice and cozy underneath the eyelash. You don't have to mess with the eyeball at all, but you still get that blinking effect, which is what we want. Now that you have rigged one eye successfully, this is where we're going to copy, paste, and reflect. Typically, you would also move the eye before doing the step, but because our eyes are different, we need to do this step first. So, follow along. We're going to control and select the whole eye warp deformer. Then, we're going to grab all of the layers that we worked on, all of our eyelashes, and our blue whites. Okay? We're going to hit Control C, Control V, right click, scroll down to the bottom, reflect, and hit OK. It's going to look like this, and when you hit the slider, it's going to do something like this. That is what we want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab anything that says R, like our eyelid, our lash, and delete it. We do not need this anymore. That was only there to serve as our guide. The red whites can also disappear. Go back to these red eyeballs, and we're going to clip it to the new blue white layer that was created. But now, when you go to slide this parameter, both of the eyes open and close at the same time. What you're going to want to do is grab all of the layers you just reflected. So all of those layers that I just reflected, including that, and we're going to click on this, go to this little menu here, we're going to hit change, and we're going to change it to R open. This is what's going to allow our character to blink and wink. Alright, now our eyes blink at the same time. They're symmetrical. What the heck do we do about these different eye colors? Well, this is the easy part. We just click on the eyeball warp deformer that we created before, go to eyeball X, create 3 keyforms. We're going to scoot it over to the right, shift, grab the middle of this box, scoot them over to the right. They're in sync with each other. Now we can go to the Show Palette menu, hit Reflect Motion, reflect horizontally, yep. And now they'll look to the left. Awesome, you just completed eyeball X. We're going to do a very similar thing for eyeball Y. Click it, 3 keyforms. Hold Shift, lift the eyeballs up, and you can choose how high or how low you want them to go. And then move them down. Once you have that done, we're going to click this menu again, and we're going to do Synthesize Corners. Make sure parameter 1 is X and Y. Hit OK. And now, your eyeballs. Let's go check our work. To do this, we go up to Modeling, Physics Settings, and then we can go ahead and hit Posing and hit Play. This will just show us how our eye movement is going to play out. And there you have it. Your character eyes are different colors, they look symmetrical. So this was a very simple way to rig different colored eyes. There is, of course, other things that you can do. For example, if you really wanted to, you could add eye jiggles. I just hope that this tutorial was helpful. This was one of the tutorials I wish was available when I started rigging, and so I hope this tutorial is helpful for any of you out there who are struggling trying to rig different colored eyes. Thank you for watching.